weird. You were just, we're lucky, people. We are lucky that Jamie is here today. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of Check-In. I'm Sara Lusky. He is Jamie Thomas. We are getting ready for the Winnipeg Jets and Columbus Blue Jackets on home ice. You can watch us on YouTube. Maybe you're watching us on X, Facebook. We are also available in podcast form if you're unable to catch us live. But we always love when you are able to, because we love to be able to see you in the comments as well. And we already see a number of people entering the chat, so hopefully we'll see some more of you as this show goes on.
Yeah, thank you, Lord James tweet. Finally back to a regular time slot. That is so
hallelujah,
so helpful to what we do around here.
You know, I saw that our social team had tweeted out that gif of the old lady from Titanic, where it has been
so long.
It's been 100 years.
Yeah.
I have recovered from the Grey Cup. I wonder if many of you in Manitoba, if you were able to get to the Grey Cup.
You're so lucky the weather was good.
It was spectacular. It was absolutely the best weather. I said, I was joking, but never did I see weather like that when I was on the sidelines.
When was your last Grey Cup?
2021.
Where was that one again?
Hamilton.
Yeah, the weather was good that day, wasn't it?
But nothing like this. This is spectacular. So hopefully you were able to enjoy, if you were in Winnipeg or the surrounding areas, that you were able to enjoy some of the festivities. It was great to see the energy around the city, and then look to continue it now as the Winnipeg Jets come home for their next 3 games after that incredibly long road trip.
Columbus, Carolina, Minnesota.
Correct.
Okay. So that's a handful. Each team has their own separate challenge, of course. But I look at, so like Columbus has always played Winnipeg tight, always played them tough. But Columbus played last night at home. I was talking to Jody Shelley, one of their color analysts on their television broadcast, and like they got here at 2:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
And Scott Arniel was talking about how you have to take advantage of the schedule because you got a team that got here late. That's where you got to jump on them early. So that's something as we get into this that you're going to be looking for with the Jets, because they're almost healthy.
Yes. Looking forward to seeing some returns to the lineup, and especially it should be able to help, as you mentioned. I mean, Columbus coming in very early this morning, and being able to have a healthier roster and have more tools at your disposal if you're Scott Arniel, and more talented players certainly is going to be a benefit here tonight as the Blue Jackets look to kick off this 4-game road trip that they have. They were 4-3 shootout winners last night against Montreal.
4-3 shootout too in their last game. So look at all these things lining up.
Columbus loves 1-goal games. They lead the league in the number of 1-goal games. What are you saying? Are you expecting it to be
1-goal game?
A 1-goal shootout game tonight?
And keep in mind, the Jets and Florida are the only teams in the NHL. They've only got 2 games and they've gone to overtime / shootout. So I'm looking for a 1-goal game here tonight.
Are you?
I'm really taking a step here.
Very much so. Morning skate finished just a short while ago. They got off the ice a little bit after 11, and then we had a couple of players speak to the media beforehand, and then Scott Arniel as well. But what we are expecting for the Winnipeg Jets tonight in terms of their lineup.
Here's Zach.
What do we take a look at? Who is it that is returning on that 4th line?
So how about you're throwing out Scheifele, Toews, Lowry, Barron as your 4 centermen? How about that? That's something to be excited about. Of course, Pearson and Nyquist on the left and right side, respectively, of Morgan Barron. But man, like it's you think of all the players that came back on the road trip, and they come back, you're like they're fully. Oh yeah, right. There's still Morgan Barron, Cole Koepke, and you're waiting for Hayden Fleury now to come out of yellow. But man, this is as close as we've seen this team to being healthy. And so let's hear first from Morgan Barron on his return.
Yeah, I think it's always, you get a little bit impatient there at the end. But, just happy to be on the road with the guys. I was wondering if they were going to bring me. So, fun to be a part of it and be around. Obviously a little bit of a tough trip for us, but, I felt like we kind of came around there a little bit at the end. So excited to be back with the guys in the lineup tonight.
We started to see really kind of, I think, what everyone envisions he can become. He's such a powerful skater. He's so strong on the pucks, and he can dominate a game down low on both ends of the ice. And I think he took that to heart. Kind of seeing glimpses of where his game could go to in the summertime, and came in and had a really good camp and an unbelievable start. He was one of the drivers to, and one of the big reasons why we were off to such a hot start. So it was unfortunate timing with him getting hurt when he didn't. We certainly missed him on the road, so it's going to be great to have him back in the lineup.
They caught us.
The cost was
But did we
What
mention
were
who
you
our
thinking?
guest is today?
We did not.
All right, well, we should
Well, so
probably.
there's
do
so
that.
much.
There's
There's so
so
many
much
things to get
go on.
to.
Okay.
Yeah, Mike Kelly's going to be joining us here momentarily. The man is a walking statistician.
He is fantastic. We love him. Obviously, if you follow him online, you'll know. He's an analyst on NHL Network, FanDuel as well, but director of analytics and insights for SportLogic. So we always love when Mike is able to join us. And as you mentioned, he is going to join us shortly. So we did want to make sure that you knew that. But the fact that Barron is back now and you get the players returning, that was one of the storylines of that road trip. I mean, obviously it didn't have the success that they wanted. They were 2-4 on it. But one of the big storylines was that they were getting healthier and seemed every game, it would happen after our show, but it would be announced
Yes,
that
that's
a player would return. No, thank goodness.
Changed. Yeah,
now that they're back home, anybody that returns to the lineup, we can tell you about right away.
That time.
But you had Lowry, then you had Perfetti. And then you had Sandberg, and what an addition it is to be able to have Dylan Sandberg back in the lineup.
Right. I think everyone learned, I think as people that have been around this team for a long time, we kind of knew what Dylan Sandberg is and the importance to the roster that he carries. But last year when he got hurt blocking that shot by Steven Stamkos in Nashville in November and that stretch of 21 games where he was out, then people started to kind of appreciate what it's like to not have him, or when he's in the lineup, what he means. So just kind of reiterate what Dylan Sandberg means to the Jets. Here's Scott Arniel on that subject.
Being able to, because of every team having two real good lines, being able to head up, go head to head with one of the top two lines with P, and then you had, Mel and JMO against the other group. Being able to log those kind of big minutes, his size, his footwork, we've obviously the penalty kill is a big part of it, but at the end of the day, just him being able to log big minutes, it helps JMO's ice time to kind of, drop in the heavy category in that way. Just his all-around game, I think that each game he got better and better. I think that, he's got some rust off him, and now he looks like he's more like, the guy that we need.
There he is, Dylan Sandberg. You'll see on the the little, what are those when they have on the screen, the little small. Anyways, Dylan Sandberg, before he starts talking, he's just like, he smiles in the camera like this, and then gets into the question, taking the question. So he understands we need those little shots of him for excitement, building excitement for a reason why you should click on the link. Anyways,
moving on.
I have no idea where I was going with that one. That's okay.
Yeah.
There's one of those things that we put in the opener with you laughing at something I'm saying.
A lot of this.
Yeah, that's part of the course. Back to what Scott Arniel was saying. Dylan Sandberg is so calm whenever the puck comes around, even though there's a lot of pressure coming from either side. He just makes the right play all the time. And then what Scott Arniel was talking about is now you have two strong defense pairings that you can go up against the other team's best lines. And that's the depth of the NHL now. Every team has two strong lines. And then taking some of the pressure off Josh Morrissey, who, by the way, another multi-point effort in Calgary the other night. He's just really making a push, not that he had to play for Canada the Olympics, but just to have those two solid defense pairings is there. And then we just go back to how deep they are up the middle now with Morgan Barron coming back. And not only deep, just the size that they have up the middle with Scheifele, of course, Jonathan Toews and Adam Lowry, and now Morgan Barron coming back.
Well, I think that it's the most balanced that we've seen.
Yeah.
When you look up front, the most balanced lineup that we've seen from the Jets. And they have, I think that every line has a little bit of something. They've got a little bit of, someone that maybe could bring a little bit of grit to it, or a little bit of speed, or a little bit of physicality, whatever it is. I think you just see a lot more balance for it. And I know that Scott Arniel, although we didn't see the Pearson, Barron, Nyquist line before, that we know that Scott liked a lot of what he saw from Morgan Barron's lines when he was in the lineup.
Yeah, and I also forgot Gustav Nyquist came back on this road.
Yes,
too,
I did too.
So it's just like everybody's coming back.
Yeah.
So they're just, you think of the third line as Adam Lowry was talking to Kevin Sawyer, and Kevin was telling me today just about when you're a half step off, what it means, especially in defensive end of your ice. If you get someplace a half step late, how much that throws off your defensive structure. And it kind of makes you appreciate how hard it is when you come back. And then also having people out of the lineup, how hard it is to become synchronized when people are just coming in and out of the lineup all the time.
Well, and I think that that's why we've seen the start that we've seen
Yeah.
to the Jets, is that you would not only think that even if everyone had been healthy, it was going to take a little bit of time, because what do we always talk about at the beginning, it feels like, of every season? Well, we haven't seen much change from the Jets.
Right.
Even internally in terms of promotion and guys taking spots that had been with the Moose. We don't see that a lot. This lineup has been set by and large for a number of years. So you were bringing in a lot of new faces anyways, but then add in the fact that there were injuries. And so you constantly, the way that he envisioned those 12 forwards and the structure of the lines to be, wasn't able to come to fruition, especially early on. So it's been more of a process to get to where they were before.
So we're really good at using words to explain the Jets' issues. There's a guy that's really good at using numbers to help things along.
Thankfully, because we are not good at it.
Oh my! Like, we've talked at length
about how bad we are with numbers. Yes.
My daughters, my kids look at me half the time. Not my son now, but they look at me earlier in life about help with math. I'm like,
no,
sorry,
not going to happen.
This is a house of lack of learned scholars. So we go into a man that knows everything about numbers.
All right,
Mike Kelly, and he works everywhere for everyone. He's never committed to anybody except his lovely wife, of course, and life and in general, and his children, of course. Mike, welcome to the show. Thank you for joining us. You've been a busy man, so I'll get right to it. Winnipeg last year was known about shutting everything down. There was no rush chances at all for the most part. What has been the biggest difference this year statistically in that department, in your opinion?
They've trended closer to average there, which is, like you said, a departure for them because they were so good defensively pretty much everywhere last year. That's, to me, like not even their biggest concern defensively. If you're looking at the year as a whole,
right.
There's a lot of other areas like high danger chances. They're 30th. They're 29th to 32nd in a lot of areas defensively. Goal probability against them. And that's, they're top 10 if you go back to last year, just about everywhere. So the difference is, to me, is last year, top 10 defensive team before you even start talking about goaltending. And then you've got the league MVP in net on top of it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not giving up goals when that's the recipe. This year, Hellebuck, he's been even better. And part of the reason for that is that they're allowing way more. But you talked about injuries, and of course, that's a part of it. Like Dylan Sandberg, the length that he was out for non-top pairing guys, he's one of the best shutdown D in the league. And just what he can do defensively. He comes back in, he's over 20 minutes a night, kind of doing his thing again. And I think the Jets will get rolling and as they get healthy and all that too. But yeah, it's when you look at, if you just do a side-by-side of their defensive stats last year compared to this year in terms of shot locations and chance types and everything, it looks like two different teams.
Which is, I mean, we did, and you mentioned Sandberg there too, but it is surprising to me. I mean, I knew that obviously there were changes and that we had discussed that they weren't playing as well defensively and as tight and cohesive as they were before, but I didn't realize that the numbers were that stark compared to what we saw last season. One thing that I wanted to ask about was faceoffs, Mike, and I think that sometimes some people maybe put a great deal of emphasis on it, some don't appreciate it as much. One area that Jonathan Toews has certainly quickly found his game at, again, is in the circle. He's at almost 63%, which is phenomenal to me. What is the importance of faceoffs and having that puck possession when you're looking at the success of a team?
Yeah, well, from strictly a numbers standpoint, like there's not really a meaningful correlation between winning faceoffs and winning a hockey game. In the sense that if you win 54% in a game, doesn't mean you're more likely to win the game. Now, there are some people that would then discount it and say, well, it doesn't correlate strongly to winning, so why do we care? I definitely care, and I do believe that winning faceoffs matters, right? So I'm going to go from like the analytics side over to the traditional side, or whatever you want to call it, because I've seen it too many times. And situationally, it's hugely important. If you've got your goalie pulled and you need to win a draw to try to tie a game, or you're defending a lead in the same situation. How many times we've seen goals scored off of faceoffs at either the offensive or defensive end for your team. So it is important having Jonathan Toews there who can win 60+%. There's not many guys that win at that kind of rate. And especially when you're a team that's been giving up quite a bit defensively, the more you can have the puck, the more you can start with the puck, definitely the better. But I've always been a believer that what happens after a face-off is probably even more important than who wins or loses it. Because if you win a draw in the offensive zone and you can't execute a next play, what does it matter? If you win a draw in the defensive zone and you can't get the puck out, what does it matter? What happened next was more important. So I've always put a lot of stock in that as well.
We look back to last year, Mike, about the incredible start the Jets got and how beneficial it was to winning the division, considering how challenging it is. Now that they find themselves in third spot, you know, you got Colorado off the start they're off to. Dallas is playing incredible. And then you got Utah and Minnesota breathing down your neck. This must be a massive change in terms of a success path to possibly winning another Central Division title, is it not?
Yeah, the Central's got to be the toughest road out into a conference final, I would think, just because of how, like, I think we all think is going to their next, 20 games are going to be better than this first batch. So they're going to be there. But Dallas is every bit as good as we thought they would be. Colorado, they've got one regulation loss. Like it's
incredible.
That's crazy. I don't know what the record was. It's when the Blackhawks in like 2012 in that shortened season, they came out with like 24 games in a row, I think, without losing in regulation. Something crazy. Anyways, that's the last time I can remember something like this. So, and they don't look like any of it's a mirage. So, yeah, if you want to kind of say Colorado's probably going to win the division at this point, even though it's early, you're Winnipeg, you're Dallas. That's a either one of those teams could go to a Stanley Cup final, right? So that's a tough first round, I guess. When you win the division, you definitely have the luxury of getting one of those two wildcard teams, maybe even into the Pacific Division. I guess you could argue it's more important in the Central to win it than probably any other division.
Yeah, I agree with that, because you look at whoever's finishing second and third. I mean, that is a monumental task for the first round.
Well, look at Colorado, Dallas last year.
For sure. It was a shame, to be honest. Yeah. Like, you hate to see really great teams get bounced in the first round for it. So, Mike, this is the start of a 3-game homestand for the Jets, and so they're playing Columbus here tonight. If you are watching this game tonight from your office or from one of the studios,
when you're watching this game,
that's right. Sorry, when you're watching this game, what would you be watching for in a game like this?
Well, I do work for FanDuel Sports Network, and they have 7 regional teams in the U.S. that I do games for, and Columbus is one of them. So I've done a few Blue Jackets games this year. Their top line is as good as any in the league, and they might not have the star power of a McKinnon or a McDavid or whatever, but Kirill Marchenko is tied with McKinnon for the most rush chances in the league. You talk about the Jets defending the rush. Marchenko's as deadly as anybody. Columbus is good in that area. They're also very good at forcing opponents into mistakes and making them pay that way. So if you're the Jets and you've got the puck in your stick in the defensive zone or the neutral zone even, I kind of liken it to like a quarterback in the pocket. If you think you've got 2 seconds, you got 1.5 against this team. So quick puck movement, and definitely when that top line's out there, just be aware of the speed Marchenko has, but also just the kind of threat that line is in general.
Okay, so I'm asking this for a friend. As a guy like yourself that has a lot of you're wearing a lot of hats. Is there an app that you use to organize your life that maybe this person could use by chance?
Oh, I'm the worst person to ask. What's funny is like I don't write anything down. I don't have a day timer. I don't use a calendar. One of my good friends' wife, our kids play hockey together. Yeah, she's the team manager. She organized this like team snap thing with all your schedules. She's like, you can link it right to your calendar. I'm like, I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want things cluttering up in my calendar.
You don't want piles.
No, I don't want piles. But yeah, I forget things sometimes, and I do a lot of things. So I need help. Whoever you're asking for, this friend of yours, put me in the same boat and help us both, please.
Okay, I'll talk to my friend. I'll get back to you. Maybe we can fix this problem together.
Please do.
As always, man. Awesome to have you on. Great information as always, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. Always good catching up with you. Take care.
We appreciate it so much, Mike. Thanks.
So the impressive part about Mike is like I'll text him and say, "Can you come on the show?" He's like, about an hour later, he'll go, "Oh, I got a game that night." Text him again. About an hour later, I got those both games are covered up. So he locked in and said, "I can do next Tuesday." So here we are.
Well,
so I thought he was well
the fact
organized.
that he knows that and is able to say that without, because I love
he probably
old
went back to
school
his calendar.
calendar.
I know you do. That's why you're way organized than I am.
No, I don't.
Way more organized. Sorry, I should throw the right word in there after
For
this
it,
as well.
but
So
I
can't
just
do math, can't speak English. So we're really
no, but you know what, your personality.
You have a great
What do I say?
personality.
You're so pretty though. Oh,
That's a good
it's
point.
just
Yes, good point. It's Filipino Heritage Night as well. Thank you for pointing that out.
Mhm.
And these guys, are these not beautiful?
They are.
So I was gonna wear this, but the lighting makes it pretty challenging.
And I was going to, but I'm so pale anyways that when the white
See what I mean?
hit and the lights, you wouldn't be able to see
really,
me.
really
Yeah,
nice.
they're
and
beautiful, beautiful.
Super cozy. You can find those at Jet Skier and online.
Yes,
as well.
and I always love Filipino Heritage Night here because not only there are a bunch of different food options that bring in as well, celebrating the Filipino culture, but then the entertainment, everything. It's got a really great vibe within the building. So looking forward to that here tonight at Canada Life Center.
So when the Jets come back to town, that adds some more things to your schedule.
Yes,
You're
it
doing
does.
the broadcast again.
Yep.
And you got your bench interview.
It's back.
Welcome
finally.
back.
And for the first time, I have done a bench interview with Tanner Pearson.
Nice.
This group is finally home. It feels like you guys were gone forever, never mind just 2 weeks. You spent most of your career in the Western Conference. Have you been on a lot of almost 2-week road trips before?
Yeah, I don't think that was my longest one. I think I've had maybe 19-day one time. Yeah,
really?
Something crazy like that. But yeah, it's playing out there. You kind of get a lot of teams done at once, so it's kind of nice. You're on the road for a bit, but then you're home for a while, so kind of has the pros and cons.
What's the biggest challenge of being gone for that long?
I think, especially guys with families, that's probably the biggest thing, right? Yeah, you come back, and sometimes, maybe not so much my kids, but guys with younger kids, you come back and your kids learn new stuff or start walking type stuff. So I would probably say that.
When you look at the road trip, obviously not the results that you guys were looking for as a whole, but what was your biggest takeaway from those 6 days up there?
Yeah, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I think obviously when we play a full 60, we put ourselves in a good position. If we take kind of the foot off the gas pedal, let teams back in, and that's when we kind of shot ourselves in the foot.
When you look to Columbus being here tonight, you're kicking off the three homestand. Or they played last night at home. What's going to be key when going up against a team that traveled in and went to a shootout last night?
Yeah, I don't think we look at that too much. I think everyone kind of knows what they have to do when on back-to-backs, and I think if you take a team lightly, that's when it kind of hurts you, right? So it's nice to be home again. We got to start this homestand off good and get it going.
What'd you miss most about being at home?
Kids.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah. Very good answer. Also, we saw a number of players return to the lineup on the road trip. It's like Morgan Barron's going to return. I mean, you've played in the short time here with the Jets. I mean, you've played with him a bunch and centering your line. What does it do for this group to have a guy like Morgan be back in the lineup and in the middle?
Yeah, good PK guy, big, strong, heavy guy. Obviously, he's been here for a while. Key part of the team, so it's nice to have him back. It's nice.
We'll leave it at that. Thanks for the time.
Yeah, no problem.
That was good. It's like you've done it before, even though you had such a long time away from it. Just like smooth.
You know what? I've only spoken to Tanner on a few occasions in the room, and but very much enjoy chatting with him. Just a regular guy.
A new person to talk to.
Talking about the kids, exactly. You know how much I love talking about kids. So I was like,
yeah.
What did your kids into? What
did you buy them when you were gone?
I don't think they're quite at that age yet, but they'll be eventually. And just let me tell you, any parent that has gone on the road before remembers what it's like to be able to come back and kids go, did you get me anything?
And then the other parent's like, see you later.
And that's right. That was actually what I joked to Tanner. I said, so when you walked in, I said, did your wife say, so great to see you?
Yeah.
Here's the kids.
They don't even acknowledge you. They just hand you the kids.
That's right.
See you later. I'm out of here.
They,
You know what? We should point out that Connor Hellebuck was at the Grey Cup on Sunday. We forgot to mention that.
yes.
It was good to see him. Did you see him?
I did actually. We were waiting. So he went down. He was down on the field for MGK. I have to always say the initials in my machine.
That's like
MGK.
That's like the Islanders rink where it's like HBC. I can't even remember.
Before it. So he was there.
UBS Arena.
He had a great time at his first CFL game. What a game to start with.
Oh my gosh. For real? I guess during the season it don't really mesh up very well to go to games like that. So yes, Natalie as well. Nyquist, he's getting back up to speed, I think. And I think he's fitting in very well with that fourth line. Man, you have a lot of outside of Nyquist, of course. Pearson and Barron, some size, got some skill with Nyquist there. So the Jets looking 4-line deep again, which was one of their strengths going back. And Mike just sent me the information he was talking about. It's bleak.
Oh,
there's a lot of 29 and 30s in there.
All right. You know what? Maybe a homestand will help.
Yeah.
Get it going this way. You mentioned though that Hellebuck was at the Grey Cup. He will not play tonight. Eric Comrie is playing tonight. Which Comrie actually played both games against Columbus last season as well. So kicking it off, getting the call here tonight. But Hellebuck, as we mentioned, had the opportunity to experience the CFL for the first time. Okay. Oh.
We didn't have that one.
Oh.
Whoops.
Oh, you didn't load that one in? Okay. Well.
Are you going to forgive me for this one?
Nope. Nope.
But there's a bobblehead. Can we run?
That's
we have a bobblehead.
Oh my
13 seconds to go. Winnipeg trying to get it out of a pile. Velarde back in behind the net. Velarde back to the line. Ehlers moves in, shoots, and he fed on that. Got it back again. Far side, quick shot, deflected in front. They score! Paul Perfetti with a deflection. 1.6 seconds left.
Something's coming soon. Not a Hellebuck video, but something else. We'll just have to wait and see.
Let me just check your text messages to see if you had asked me to put that in the show.
Did I send it to you? All those sorts of questions will be answered.
I got a message from a random number that says, got a minute to talk. I'm not going to respond to that one. I'll tell you that right now. I'm not going to.
You're like, I'm about to have an hour or two.
I'm not going to fall for that again.
Let's quickly put up, if we can, again, before we close things out, what the Jets projected line is for today. You take a look at it. Morgan Barron returning to the lineup, which is great. He had been out since he last played November 1st versus Pittsburgh. So it's great to be able to see him healthy. We want to make mention as well. Big game for Mark Scheifele.
Yes.
Game 898
what does that mean?
Career, which means that he will overtake Blake Wheeler for most games ever played in the franchise. So big game
Mark.
Here, and great for it to happen on home ice as well. So hopefully a big game from that top line, who have played incredibly well at home. They have been very productive when you look at, and I wish I don't have the number right in front of me at the moment, but they have scored an inordinate number of the team's goals here on home ice. So for him to be able to hopefully have a big game here tonight in front of the home fans while hitting this milestone, another one would be great to see.
Well, I think that's what the challenge has been for the top line. Clearly, again, as we've talked about, not having last change and then just waiting for the other lines to get healthier and get the chemistry back again. That's been the patient part of waiting for that to happen. So I think with last change, you're going to see a big game from the top line tonight.
Well, I'm really interested to see how Scott O'Neill elects to match up his lines, because sometimes we have seen him go best on best in terms of top line versus top line. Or is this one, is Adam Lowry's back now? Is this something where we heard Mike Kelly speak about how Columbus's top line is one of the most potent and effective top lines in the league? Is this a game where you see Lowry's line go up against them to try to neutralize them as well? And this is something that Columbus played last night, but as I had mentioned off the top, that they have had success. They've actually played really well in the second game of back-to-backs.
Right.
They've had success with that so far. This, to me, is a team that you want to make sure that you don't fall behind against. You want to be able to establish that lead early, find those legs, because we also sometimes see teams come home from long road trips, And that first game back, if you remember, Paul Maurice used to talk about it all the time, that it was always the first game back, that first period, that made him a little bit nervous because it didn't look the way that you would want it to look. So hopefully tonight that's not the case, and they're able to take any opportunities that are given to them, capitalize on them, make Columbus play from behind. Don't let them get any sort of momentum going as they look to find their legs.
Maybe you can ask Scott O'Neill about that in your pregame interview.
Maybe.
Is that one of your questions by chance?
I'm for it. Maybe.
Possibly.
Maybe it is.
All right. Well, I'm
You'll
so glad
never
you get
know.
to do stuff again.
Me too.
When they're back. Because, man, now, like, I was so overloaded, especially today with all the stuff that you're giving me to get put into the show.
But you forgot part of it.
Because you're doing bench interviews again. I'm like, what is this?
I'm going to get
What
you
do you mean a bench interview?
a day planner.
Whatever.
You know what would have really
Mike
come
Kelly
in
and I are
handy
gonna
right
become
now?
real best
A
friends.
day
real
planner.
fast.
You know who
thank you.
still gets all of his work done? Mike Kelly.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to say it. Thanks for watching.
Yes, we are looking for it.
Where can you see the game tonight? TSN.
Well, you can see the game on TSN,
Where
your favorite
else?
home for
Listen to-
Winnipeg Jets games. You can always listen to it. All 82 regular season games you can listen to on CJOB with the wonderful Paul Edmonds and Mitchell Clinton.
Right.
Kelly Moore will have the pregame show going as well. And we will be back. The Jets actually have practice tomorrow. They have a day off on Thursday. And then Friday, they return to the ice. And it is the return of Nikolai Ehlers.
Yeah, that's
the
good.
Carolina Hurricanes.
That's going to be emotional.
It will be.
Yeah.
I think for everybody.
Yeah.
Hands down. I know you talked about it on Illegal Curve
Mhm.
over the weekend. One of the best players, I think, from the Winnipeg Jets. And I mean, there are a bunch, but to me, he was the best player when dealing with fans in terms of that fan fest,
Yeah.
various things, signing autographs. He's just
On the road.
such an incredibly likable guy. So happy to see that he started to find the back of the net in Carolina. And although
Just on a Friday.
that's right, not
Yeah.
on Friday, but we do wish him the best in his new location.
Thanks for watching. Columbus Jets tonight, 7:00 puck drop. We'll see you then.
No, we'll see you on Friday.
See you on Friday. Sorry. I'm not any part of the broadcast. See, I tried to work my way into the TSN broadcast. They just keep saying no. I
Great
don't
to have
know
you
why.
guys. Great to have you guys in the chat. Thanks so much for checking in.